Alright guys, we are back here with round 2. We have 2 different options to lead off with. Well, I do think Nexus Tactician is a better card. It's definitely not a better card to start off the game with on 1.1 here. I think we're definitely gonna want to go with Nexus Pilot. I could even see playing Tower Scout here, but with only one play, I think we just want to get that one out of the way and make a play that is essentially the strength of 2 creatures here. Oh yeah, we'll be fine on the clock overall. The main issue with the clock is we just don't want our opponents to run away on us. That's my main fear. Alrighty, so we get a positive battle here, and then the Frostfang Maiden's going to get to come over and finish off the Nexus Pilot. So that's a pretty sweet play for my opponent. If I play an Aegis Conscripts, that will, however, change the tide of battle here. That'll mean that I survive the trigger even. So I get a full card out of this Aegis Conscripts, and that's kind of what I was saying, that this Aegis Conscripts is a lot better in practice than it maybe looks at first. I'm pretty tempted by that opportunity. That would mean that I eschew playing one of my Technosmiths, though, as like my other play would just be Technosmith, leveling Strategist, and Conscripts. I think I am still okay with that, though. And I do want to level Strategist playing my Technosmith here. And then I'm going to play Conscripts, bumping up the Pilot as our commander here. And this is going to leave me with a 6/5. So I will still trade with this Frostfang Maiden. And I essentially have a level 3 creature here. Or, level 3. A full level 1 creature here. Not a level 3 creature for sure, but a level 1 creature to wreak havoc with. Ionic Warcharger Group Meal could be a great play during my next turn. Could also Group Meal and then play Charnel Titan. That seems a little bit weird, but kind of funny. Though my opponent hasn't really played any cards that Charnel Titan will naturally get a bonus for. Like I said, it can always get a bonus from your opponent having leftover level 1 cards. We are playing against 10-piece again, and we do want to be careful that we are not just completely throwing away the game by being So this is really funny. We really want this Fellstrider to spawn back right here. Nice, we got there. So my opponent was hoping that this Fellstrider would trigger in lane 2 or maybe lane 1, and then they'd be able to move over Frostfang Maiden and kill this off. But awkwardly, it triggered right in front of the Pilot again, which means they don't really get to make use of their Frostfang Maiden. So that is pretty funny. Unfortunately, Group Meal won't stop the zombie from killing Nexus Pilot. These are just going to trade regardless of what we do here, but we can use it to make the Ionic Warcharger kill the Frostfang Maiden, and maybe some other plays here. Will it change this back? It will also change this back from a negative battle to a trade again. So we have to think about what we want to do. One thing to be mindful of, it doesn't come up that often, but if you jetpack a Nexus Pilot, it does die. Yeah, Warcharger Meal seems pretty good. It doesn't leave us with that good of a board, though. It leaves us with a 6/4, a 5/6. These will trade, and those will trade. So it's not like it's anything insane here. Warcharger Charnel Titan is actually the same thing, but just playing worse cards. There's no way we can Charnel Titan and then Abyssal Maul and still have a big Titan. Alright, I'm going to go for Charger Group Meal. I don't think Group Meal levels the best, but is still a pretty good card, and I don't really care that much for our other options here. So yeah, this is going to be a trade. That's going to be a trade. And we're left with a 6-4 mobility and a 5-6. So we're left with initiative, which is fine. We're only up 2 cards, though, on our turn, so it winds up being about the same. They're going to play Abyssal Brute and then trade off here. We are going to be able to trade off with the Abyssal Brute, and we can even play the Nexus Tech so that our Ionic War Charger survives. That's an option. We really need to look at what we want to level with this hand, though. Here's the play I'm going to make. We're going to move this over, trade these boys off, and I'm going to level up all of my Alloyin Strategists. One of the reasons that I think we lost the last game is because we just didn't draw all of these sweet Alloyin Strategists, so I'm going to go all in on them, leveling one, and then having one pump up the Tech Explorer to be able to trade here. This hand lets us see another Alloyin Strategist and a Nexus Tech. Seem like solid cards. It's not going to take much for my opponent to blow up this Tech Explorer. We lost the first game to... I guess we were a little bit slow, but basically my opponent had an Umbric Lasher that controlled rank 1, and then they had Uranti Warlords that controlled rank 2. And we weren't able to pull... We definitely controlled player level 3, but they were still able to get in a little bit of recursive damage over time. And it meant that we weren't able to stabilize fast enough. Alright, a Volcanic Giant hits the battlefield, which we can take out with Alloyin Strategist pumping Alloyin Strategist. We'll see what else they play first, though. Another Volcanic Giant? Alright, I think I see the play that I want to make. Nexus Tech. Alloyin Strategist. Here's why these cards are good. We just changed a negative battle into a positive one. Sure, we had to play 2 cards, but we still have both of those cards here too. And 1 card to pump health, 1 card to pump attack means that we get to make out ahead of that, all things considered. We have 3, really 5 solid cards that we get to play out of this hand too. So this one's going to be tricky. I think we might be eschewing the pilot again. I think, though, one of the reasons we may have lost last game is we did opt to not... No, but it was... The center lane was open. So it would have been tricky to play the pilot during our last game. I guess I can't fault myself too much there. Another thing that is worth noting is that was a level 1 Nexus Tech, and it could have even been a level 1 Strategist, and we still would have wound up with the same end result there. And that speaks to the power level of these cards here. So I think we just battle, and then I'm just going to play Strategist, Tech Explorer, Leveling Pilot. And we get in a little bit extra damage if I play another Strategist here too. I'm kind of going to lock this one into the side lane. But it's fine. We get to do a little bit more damage, which I think is worth it. This guy can trade with any of our 3 creatures. He can only hit one of these 2, but a trade is fine. If we just play an Alloyin Strategist or 2 every turn, it's going to be a tough game to lose, and then eventually we're going to just start playing 1820s. So So it should be pretty tough for us to lose here. I do think that I have to end this stream at about 5:10 today. But I will plan on... yeah, no, that was definitely a little bit tongue-in-cheek there. We got 4 Alloyin strategists total. We just happened to draw 2 of them, and then the other 2 here. But yeah, 4 in total. Pretty lucky. Pretty lucky. I will not deny that. There's a small chance my opponent has just had enough here. They've seen way too many strategists. Sometimes that does happen in the game. People just get unlucky for a turn or 2 and throw in the towel. Looks like that is not going to be the case. They're going to Frostfang Maiden over after Flame Jetting, which is an underdrop spell. Gets to deal 3+3 for 6, 4 more for a total of 10 to finish off that strategist. And now they just have to decide what they want to do with the rest of it here. Alright, Fellstrider as a chump blocker, and what else do you got for us? Oh right, just hitting us for 8. That's all you get to do. Yeah, I'm just going to play this as a positive battle here. I think I'll be content with that. And I'm going to go Technosmith leveling Alloyin strategist. I don't think this is super likely to matter. I should have seen where this Fellstrider landed first, so that I didn't just Technosmith in front of it. Actually, if it landed here, I probably should have strategist in front of it, to be completely honest. But... looks like this will be good. Still have 1 strategist that is not active, which means it's going to be tough for my opponent to deal with that. And yeah, this is definitely the better positioning for it, though, assuming the Fellstrider doesn't pop up here. I'll probably make use of my 2 level 2 cards in hand and just try to snowball the game away in our favor. So one of the things, and it is potentially a lesson to be learned from my first game, is when you are just focusing too much on making your deck better and not enough on the battlefield, you can just get run over. At the same time, I'm sure we will also be able to showcase a game against an opponent that focuses too much on the cards that they play and not enough on how much those cards impact their deck. So Cinderbound Barbarian can trade with Strategist here, or it can finish off this Strategist. It's going to trade with that one, and then I assume we're going to see a level 1 creature pop up here. Ooh, and it is a level 1 dog finishing off our Strategist. Okay, well, that is a pretty good option from my opponent here. If we Aegis Conscripts and Group Meal, we can finish off this dog, but we can also just totem up, and I think I like that. And then the question is, do we Aegis Conscripts itself? And I think the answer to that is probably yes, because Aegis Conscripting here doesn't really do anything for us. Changing 2 toughness to 4 toughness doesn't really get us that much. All right, there's our boy. There is Alloyin Strategist 3. That should be a tough one for my opponent to deal with. And Aegis Wings could be a lot of fun here as well. Alrighty, that's a pretty good one. A positive battle. It's going to give them something else to work with here. Yeah, I dig it. I think we're going to not play Aegis Wings at this point. I think we are instead just going to trade here and then push some damage through. It's only 12 points of damage, but those points of damage are going to add up. Play a Frankenbomb here as well, and this can get in for at least 14 itself. Don't really have a great answer to Abyssal Brute still. But assuming my opponent doesn't have a level 3 card that they can give Regenerate, Abyssal Brute isn't going to be too much of a problem. I guess they could play a level 2 and then play another level 2. No, this is just going to be a trade, right? Yep, these are going to trade into... I guess my opponent could have some burn spell of some sort to kind of flip that on its head. But short of that, this looks good. Nexus Tech could help a Technosmith or an Alloyin Strategist survive this Abyssal Brute. I don't hate that option here. And what are they pumping up? The Abyssal Brute? Well, that shouldn't matter because Alloyin Strategist will make that negligible. This is already negligible, yeah. So that didn't really do too much there. We just have to decide if we would rather just trade this off with a Technosmith or get a little bit of positive battle action here. I could go Nexus Tech, pretty much shrug off the damage from the Bruiser. Though I think I'd want to get in for 14 anyways. Yeah, alright, I think I like playing Nexus Tech. We're going to move over here, and then we're going to get a positive battle and hit my opponent for 18. Oh, my guy no longer had 8 attack, did it? Oh, I messed up. I messed up. Fair enough. Yeah, there was no reason for me to move that Strategist there. Is that wholly about this hand or that play? At first I thought it was about that play, but now I'm realizing I think that might be a holy moly, look at this hand. Yeah, I mean, that's why this is kind of an awkward instructional video. It might just not matter what plays we make because these hands are just insane. Would still like to play a little bit better. Optimally. Yeah, I want to move this Strategist out of here because this is a negative battle. Pretty sure I want to play Tech Explorer and Strategist. And I think I'm just going to be able to ignore this Brute. Yeah. Maybe I do want to kill this Brute off. Means that I can hit my opponent for more damage. Playing a Strategist or 2 each turn does seem pretty reasonable, doesn't it? Oh, wait. This is a positive battle? Alright, I'm going to have to go for that then. This needs a Strategist on one of the 2 sides of it. It's going to get this one clearly, but it might want another one right here. Oh, never mind. This is enough. I could just Tech Explorer as a positive battle here. Because this is dying. And I don't hate leveling Ionic War Charger too. Alrighty. I don't love the idea of putting damage on Alloyin Strategist. Yeah, so I'm not going to. I'm going to let this battle happen, and then I'm going to play this strategist here in the center lane. It's going to give us a 14-2 and a 14-1. Those get traded off with level 1s and level 2s, but at least this way, a level 2 can't positive battle this Alloyin strategist. We're just getting a positive battle here. What might wind up being a positive battle here... yeah, maybe I did just want it here. So that way we don't get a positive battle in lane 1. Which is a definite possibility. Like I said, it's not going to take too many more hits for my opponent to die. 34. That means we're looking at like... I mean, that's... It's 13 divided by 3. We've got all of these 14s floating around. So if we can hit him with 3 swings of 14, that should be all that we need. Yeah, I feel pretty confident about our current board state, which again isn't that much as to how much we drafted, but more just in terms of how many. Yeah, Cinderbound Barbarian's definitely a help that can finish off that. Then we're gonna get the Frostfang Maiden here. That's actually a big weight off our shoulders. Frostfang Maiden could have popped up in lane 1 and got regeneration on it. So that's helpful. Yeah, we're going to leave my opponent the option to Frostfang Maiden to clear this off. I'm not sure there's anything else I can do in accordance with that. Maybe I'd want to level Tower Scout here instead, but definitely want to play Dr. Frankenbaum. And we put our opponent down to 24 now. Two Frankenbombs each trigger for 6 points of damage, so that's 12. We can also have this Frankenbomb in play. That's 6 plus 6 plus 6, meaning we only need one more Abomination. Ionic War Charger also represents 15 points of damage in being able to trade with something. We are out of Strategist, but luckily we refreshed our deck with this player level, so we are stacked as far as... I mean, this is a strategy-based game, so realistically, whoever has more strategy should win in any given matchup. And this one is no different. Just have more strategy than my opponent. And sometimes that is enough to do it. Alrighty, my opponent does, with 30 seconds left, decide they're going to trade off Frostfang Maiden for the Strategist, and then Frost Shatter Strike and block there. Sounds good. So we get how many when this guy dies? We get 8 points of damage in with this dies if we play 2 Frankenbombs. 8 plus 6 plus 6 is not quite. That's only 20 points of damage. Get an additional 3 when we play the last one. I'm just going to play Ionic War Charger here, and I'm also going to play a Dr. Frankenbaum pre-combat here. Let's go for the damage push. They are almost dead. This means that we likely have lethal, unless they fill all the lanes here. So 3 plus 15 is 1 off. It's only 18. But Alloyin Strategist should be able to combo with this Ionic War Charger and give us a nice little lethal here. It also means that my opponent has to block 4 active lanes in order to not die. Yeah, we haven't seen any fill, any grow wide from my opponent here. And I don't even know if I know there's... Oh, it's Abyssal Brute. Or Necreum, yeah. You could have some Necreum cards, but typically those don't fill the way that you want them to. Definitely no Phytobombs in our future. Phytobomb would be sweet, though. We definitely do have the answer to Phytobomb. Does this defender hold? Wow. They did it. Good for them. We all said it couldn't be done, but it clearly could be done. Gonna hit him for 9 damage, so like if I Aegis Wings this... Yeah, that seems not worth it. 6. Luckily, Alloyin Strategist is going to be enough to finish this off here, though. Changes that battle over. So let's start off with that. Clear off those guys, and then let's just Technosmith, Tech Explorer. Yeah, I was looking for some crazy plays, just looking to make sure I didn't miss lethal there. Volcanic Giant for the trade, and they have a Cinderbound to finish off Strategist and block here. No, Frost Shatter Strike. Alright, that's going to let them survive a turn, so good for them. But a +6? No, not quite. Put them down to 1, though, and play our best cards. Fortunately, my opponent just got out-strategized, and sometimes that is the case in Solforge. Sometimes your opponent just has more strategy than you do. Alright, I'm going to try to sneak in one more game here. Can I do it? Yeah, I need to fit in one more game in 15 minutes. The next ones I will finish off next stream. Don't want to count our chickens before we hatch here. Guess there are possibilities. I mean, Alloyin Strategist, they have to block every single active lane here. So, that seems tough. There we go. Kill him dead. A little bit of BM at the end for making us wait. But there is game 2, and I will be right back with game 3.